All right, welcome back to the Peace and Progress Podcast, episode 7. Today's discussion, what we're talking about is since we are going to New York soon, we're talking about two things actually. Number one, the reason why we're going to New York, which we touched on the last podcast. And then I feel like there was a couple people that had asked me when we went and did it. Obviously, nobody's asked me since. But I think that this is an interesting thing because this is something that I've never done, and two, I've never thought that I would ever want to do it. Is when was that? A few months ago? No. How long ago was that?
August or September, because we went
August, that's right.
Your birthday.
It was August. When we went and saw a psychic medium and just talking about that experience, because that was crazy. It was a crazy experience for the most part. But yeah, so we get started with the New York conversation. Why we're going to New York, what the reason behind it is.
Yeah, I mean, we started in on some of the heavier stuff in the last episode, so it kind of like piggybacks into that.
Yeah. So the backstory, which I think we also did on another episode. I think it was the one where we talked about how when we booked New York.
I don't know if we ever talked about it.
No, I'm saying the backstory behind is the whole Home Alone. Jax was super into Home Alone. I think that was on the podcast where we talked about us booking New York. But the backstory is that Jax was like, he must have been 5.
Yeah.
Something like that. Because Brooks was born.
Well, for what?
When he was like super into it the first time.
Oh, when he was I guess so, like 5.
Yeah, when he was watching. So that's Home Alone 2? I've never seen any of them.
Home Alone 2 is the one
where he goes to New
York. But the first one, he was also into. He likes both of them.
Right, but we're talking about why we're going to New York and like how that whole started.
Right, but he was watching both of them.
Yeah.
Like nonstop around, probably age 5.
Yeah. Or I think around Christmas time too, obviously, because it's like a Christmas movie. Yeah. Anyway, so he was like super into, or I guess, both of them, but the New York one, Home Alone, Lost, whatever it is, Lost in New York. Again, I've never seen them, so I have no idea. But he was like super into watching those movies, and I think what you had said, I don't even remember this conversation, but I think what you were saying is that he wanted to go to all the places that Kevin had went in the movie or something like that, or he was like super into doing what Kevin did, and then
No, I think he just liked the movie, and your mom was always like the kind of person was like, oh, you like this, then let's do this, and it's like way larger than his like small little interest in the movie, and then hers was like, okay, well, I'll take you to New York kind of thing.
Yeah. Which I don't remember that conversation, but I guess that's kind of how it like came about. But
yeah, I think it was just him talking about New York, and her saying like, well, we could go there, like making it a reality for him. It's not just a movie. Like, well, we could go there.
Oh, okay. So it wasn't ever really like an initial, like initially it wasn't like, oh, well, we're going to go to New York. It was just like, oh, it's a place that we could actually visit.
Yeah, because I mean, he doesn't really visit any like big monuments other than like the Plaza Hotel.
I thought, Kevin.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm so lost. Kevin doesn't visit any. Well, no, he went to Trump Tower.
No, he didn't.
Isn't that where he met Donald Trump?
No, he was in the Plaza Hotel. You really haven't watched the movies. Donald Trump just happens to be in the Plaza Hotel as like Kevin's walking by, and he asks him a question. I don't even remember the question. And I think he asks him where the front desk is, and Donald Trump just points him to the front desk.
Oh.
But the whole movie takes place in the Plaza Hotel, which...
Well, he had to have gone to Central Park.
Yeah, oh yeah, he was in Central Park. But it wasn't like...
Oh, you're saying like a monument, like a building, like a national...
Yeah, and even like the toy store isn't FAO Schwartz.
Duncan?
Yeah.
What is it? Dylan?
Duncan's.
Duncan's toy
store. But
store.
that's just a fictional toy store.
Right. What was the front probably for FAO Schwartz?
I don't think so. I think it was just a stage because they never really showed...
No, I'm not saying that they were in FAO Schwartz. I'm saying that was probably like what FAO Schwartz was supposed to be. or vice versa. I don't know what came
Yeah, I
first.
mean, maybe. We were looking it up recently because we are going to try and go to the Plaza Hotel, at least for just like pictures, because there is like this kind of Home Alone, reference that, he likes Home Alone, so let's go to the hotel. But as I was looking up like where the Plaza Hotel is, there was like all these threads talking about how FAO Schwartz is or was like right down the street. So in the movie, it really didn't make sense that he didn't go to FAO Schwartz because it was like right there.
Mm.
Um, but yeah, they were just talking about that it was fictional, and who knows, maybe it was, like legal reasons they couldn't get FAO Schwartz or whatever.
Yeah. So it was around. FAO Schwartz was already a
I
thing.
think so. I guess for a while it had closed. But I think that was later on, like, I don't know, 2017 maybe.
Mm. What was I gonna say? Oh, I was gonna go back to, and this is so irrelevant, but so we talked about that a little bit too on that episode where we talked about booking it, but I went in 2012 and then we went to FAO Schwartz, and one movie that I have seen is Big.
Right.
That was the whole reason why I wanted to go. So I didn't even know, obviously,
Which
about Home Alone.
Jax has watched that one too.
Well, I forced him to watch that though. I
Yeah.
kind of made him, I was like, this is such a good movie. You got to watch this, which actually he was interested in too, because I didn't think that he would care about it.
Yeah.
He like actually liked it, and he always referenced "Good night, Mrs. Baskin."
Yeah.
So that's cool. Anyway, that's off topic, but that's the reason that I wanted to go to FAO Schwartz is because they have that big piano that he plays on, that
Yeah.
Tom Hanks plays on.
So, but getting back to the reason why we're going, so it was always just like this, oh yeah, we'll go, and we never really planned it. Your mom and Mark would like go on big trips at least once a year, I would think, or once every other year. So
Mhm.
it just seemed like they had a few things already planned. So if we were going to go to New York, then it was kind of like a ways out because they already had like stuff planned.
Yeah.
And then obviously everything happened with your mom. I don't know if you want me to go like too in depth regarding like what happened or whatever. I mean,
no, we don't have to go too in depth. That's not, I feel like that's not really relevant to the story. So,
not in depth, but
I mean, yeah, if you want to say whatever, I can always just cut it out. It'll be the first time I don't do like a raw.
yeah, I mean, it's whatever you're comfortable with. But I mean, at some point, your mom got sick, and then it kind of turned into when I get better, we're going to go to New York. And it was a goal for her.
Mm-hmm.
And we kept talking about it in terms of a goal and something to be reached. And, once this milestone passes, then we're going to go. And, obviously, like towards the end of everything, it was more or less like motivation just to get her going to the next day.
Mm-hmm.
And we would talk about it as if it was going to happen, kind of thing. So again, towards the end, it was more or less like it's still going to happen. And I never wanted your mom to think that we were like giving up hope on her or anything. So I never said, like it's okay, or I'm still going to take them, kind of thing. Partly because I was so nervous that she was like gonna get mad at me for like assuming the worst. And like I never did. I never gave up hope. I never gave up optimism, even in like the hardest days. But I think that, obviously like I prayed a lot, the last few months and everything. And I kind of just like talked to her, and just always said like, whatever happens, like we're still gonna go and we're still gonna do that. And obviously like I did tell her, one of the last things I said to her was like, I promised to take care of you guys. Um, Being a boy mom, like you guys were everything to her. So I just wanted her to know that like I was gonna continue that.
Yeah.
So it was, I don't even remember how you and I like talked about it, how it came up between you and I, because I don't think that we talked about it much before she passed.
Talked about what?
Going to New York. It was, I mean, obviously we had so much other things on our minds. So I don't really remember at what point we kind of talked about it and we both were like, oh, we're still going.
Yeah.
But the plan was that we were supposed to go last year, you know, which was the goal while she was still here and stuff too. It was like, oh, we're going to go in December. And that was the goal even after everything was like, well, we're still going to go. But obviously, you know, it's like we had a lot of other things going on and it just seemed like a little too chaotic, in my opinion. Or even just like, I don't even know what the best word is. Like just irresponsible to just be like, well, we're just going to go. And because there was so much other things going on.
Yeah.
I mean, were you disappointed we didn't go last year?
No.
Do you feel the same way, or did you feel any other kind of way in terms of like leading up to it if we were still trying to go last December?
Last year? No, I agree. I think that it was there's just a lot. I was just talking to somebody yesterday about that actually. When I don't know how to put it in a way that it translates and makes sense, but like when I don't want to say somebody close to you, but like in that capacity, when somebody like that, like a parent or like your legal guardian, passes away, there's a lot of that back end stuff that you have to handle in the transferring and all of these things. And there's just a lot of, I guess like legal type stuff that you have to go through. And it's more, well, number one, it's more than you probably are anticipating if you've never had to go through that.
Yeah. And there's a lot of stuff, you know, that like, obviously in our situation, like we had no experience with before. A lot of it was like so new. And even at one point you were so frustrated because you were like, I have no idea what we're doing. I have no idea what we're signing off on, what we're agreeing to. And it's like, I don't either.
Yeah.
We're both just like,
yeah, and
trying our best.
To that point too is like, I don't know if this is relevant or not, but the reason that I think that I was so frustrated, which you can obviously attest to, or anybody actually that knows, you know, both her and me and like our relationship, is I fortunately in that sense, life-wise, like I was very, I don't know if spoiled is the right word, but I was very
well taken care of.
Yeah, like to the point where like and I've used this term before with a lot of people, not ever here on the podcast, but like she was always, I say that she's the go-to, and I say that a lot, and I feel like I kind of throw that loosely, but in a sense is like was the go-to for everything. And like we talked about just even like with my anxiety or like me trying to figure out, you know, something like that in a situation, whether it's like legal stuff or like my taxes or I don't know, just important things like paying bills or just like life stuff in general. Is like if I'm trying to figure out, I mean, this is a terrible example, but like if I'm trying to figure out like what I'm doing life wise or career wise, is like she was always the go-to to talk to about that. Or like I said, to help with me coping with my anxiety. Like she always kind of knew how to like calm me down and bring me back. Or if I had any questions or didn't really know about a specific payment or something like that, or like how to do certain legal things, is like she would just take care of it. She would never really, and not that this is a bad thing, but like she would never really teach me how to do that. She just always took care of it. And so when I didn't have that anymore, I really had to understand how to grow up in that aspect quickly,
Mm-hmm.
you know, because I never was taught all of that stuff growing up. Like she was always just the type of person that will just take care of it. And you even know, like, as simple things as like making an appointment for something. Like if we had to make an appointment to get an electrician out,
Oh yeah.
she would send me like 5 different electricians, and then I'd be like, cool, I'm gonna call him. And then literally an hour would pass and she'd be like, I already got one coming out next tomorrow or whatever.
But the interesting thing is, like, it's, I mean, I think you would agree to this also is, yes, she took very good care of us in terms of like that stuff. But I also think it was like part of her own anxiety of like just making sure that it was taken care of and not having to like wait on us to do it. Because like you said, it was like, okay, well, I'll call them this afternoon. That wasn't fast enough for her. She would,
Right.
well, I could just call them right now. And
Yeah. No,
so I mean, part of it was just how she was, like you said, but like she didn't ever skip a beat. She didn't second guess anything. It was always, whether it was stuff like that where we've never done certain things like, in certain situations before, or you're just having a hard day or whatever it was. She was always, I would drop off the boys and call her immediately.
Yeah.
Tell her how drop off was. And it was the same every day. So then, like you're saying, is like when that person is not there.
Yeah, the routine.
Yeah, and not only that, to then amplify it, to be dealing with their personal stuff, their documents, their financial stuff, is like another layer of a reminder that they're not there. And so it would literally like drain me emotionally. I would get off certain calls and just like have nothing left in me because it was just like, I don't want to be doing this. It's like a reminder that she's not there. Like,
yeah.
Those first few months, like you're saying, and the other thing that we are so fortunate that she had all of her ducks in a row in terms of like naming you as her beneficiary on everything, and obviously like you were her only son, so like it was relatively easy, the process for everything. I mean, that was the other part that I don't even know if, again, I tried to make everything as easy as possible for you. But I don't even know if I told you how many times people would tell me about like horror stories about situations and things getting tied up and how long it would take. And like, I mean, looking back, like everything was like relatively smooth, but it was that emotional piece that just like, at times it just took everything.
Yeah.
So yeah, like you're saying, is like by the time December came, it just felt like it was too much all at once.
Yeah.
And obviously the other thing is too, is we decided to take a small little trip up north and see your family, during December. And I think that's what we needed anyways.
Yeah. Yeah. I don't even know where to unpack all of that. It was a lot, but
I know that's probably a lot deeper than.
No, I'm good. I don't know. There was like so many things I want to say, but
either way, I mean, after last year, after December passed, the main thought in my head after that was, okay, but for sure we have to go this year, because you and I are both the kind of people to just like keep putting it off until, however many years has passed. And I did not want to do that.
Yeah.
I wanted to make sure it happened, because the thing is like, who knows what could come up next year or the year after that. And like, obviously with everything that we went through there, this year was the perfect time to go.
Yeah. Well, I mean, again, to that point, like, I don't think that there's never a perfect time to go. It's just, you have to, you just have to go and do it. And I think that, I think the hardest part for me, truthfully, is like I think I brought it up in the last episode, is it it's just like, obviously, yeah, I want to go, and I know how important the trip is, not only in general, but to me specifically. I think it's hard because I just know in the back of my head, like, this is like, this trip, this is gonna look so different than what it was supposed to look like,
Yeah.
you know? And so I think that for me, that's mentally the hardest part, is like trying to get past that point.
Yeah. But I also think, and I'm sure you would agree, is that some of our best trips and some of the trips that have made us stronger as a family, like between the four of us, is when we go somewhere completely new,
Mm,
just the four of us.
mm,
Um, because to piggyback off of what you're saying is when we had gone on family trips with her and Mark, everything would be planned.
yeah.
We just show up and everything's already planned, restaurants and activities and all that stuff, whether it was him or her looking up activities for the kids to do, him looking up restaurants, everything was planned. We didn't have to do anything. Um, and I think our first trip to Oregon was like our first experience of planning everything on our own and realizing how much harder it is to plan, especially with the boys.
Mm,
Um, but we also were able to explore and do kind of our own thing.
mm,
Maybe not that first trip, but the second trip to Oregon, and do different things in San Diego too, when we go and we try new places and stuff. And I think it makes us stronger as a family between the four of us.
mm.
And obviously, like, that's really important for the boys too. And um, so I think it's going to be a good trip. I think that she would be happy that we're still going
Mhm.
and that we've booked all these activities for the boys to do, and that we're going together and stuff. And
Yeah.
yeah. I mean, the other thing is, one of the last things that she told you too, that we're kind of just trying to live up to every day or every year, the saying that you put on the back of your sweatshirt.
Mm.
What was it?
On my t-shirt,
Yeah.
the one that I just put, I don't remember verbatim. It was something like, live your life every day and don't waste a second, or something like that.
Yeah. And there's people that'll say, like, well, why are you taking the boys so young and they're not going to remember it? And it's like, why wait?
Hmm. Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I think I've definitely obviously been vocal about that side of things. Is I feel like I see just life in general, but like that side of life in as a new perspective,
Mm-hmm.
in the sense of like, just because of that, like what I said, like you this trip is going to look different than what it was supposed to look like. And I don't think that, for me, I can speak for, is like, I don't think that I would even want to wait, because
Mm-hmm.
I touched on it a little bit in the last episode, which is my own thing, but I don't know what's going to happen ultimately at any point. Nobody really does, right? Truthfully. But I just know that I don't want to keep waiting,
Mm-hmm.
because I have a bigger fear of that happening again,
Mm-hmm.
either in my life or to myself at some point, where I'm not going to be able to have the opportunity to do that.
Yeah.
And I think that that's one of the biggest things that drives me to do, again, which we touched on in the last episode, is like with my anxiety, is one of the biggest reasons. It's almost like, obviously, a negative thing turned into a positive thing, is like, and I think that that's one of the very few things that I'm grateful for going through this experience is that it's really taught me, it's kind of like opened my eyes more to like that side of things and being like, I would rather, I don't even know what the right word is. Not like take the chance on it, because obviously you just book the flight and go, but
I don't think it's taking a chance, but it's taking the opportunity. You have the
right,
opportunity to go now, so
right,
why wouldn't you go?
right. And I think that again, that's the only, or not the only, but one of the only few um like silver linings from everything that happened, because
Hmm.
yeah, I don't know. I don't know how else to put it. I just keep going back to the fact that like this the trip looks a lot different than what it was supposed to. And yeah, I don't know. I think that's the hardest thing for me to like mentally wrap my head around.
Yeah, and kind of change your perspective, maybe. Do you feel like it makes you sad thinking about that?
Thinking about the fact that the trip is different,
Yeah,
for sure.
yeah.
Because I think going back to like obviously routines being different, like how you would say you would call her every single day.
Hmm.
And like that was just part of the routine. And then all of a sudden, obviously, that has to stop. You
Right.
can't just, so um it's almost like the same concept where it's like I think about that constantly, is like still to this day, sometimes it feels like just something came up, right? And
Hmm.
like they just weren't able to make this trip,
Hmm.
if that makes sense. Like that's
Yeah, I mean,
subconsciously, sometimes that's like where my mind goes, is just like, well, we're going on this trip just us four because something else came up, or they're on vacation at that time, so
right.
they can't go.
Well, for a while too, remember it almost didn't feel real because obviously, like, she wasn't living with us. She was living in Westlake. So it almost just felt like she was just at home.
Hmm.
And like you're saying, is even though I wasn't calling her every day or talking to her like literally every second, maybe she was just busy.
Hmm.
And so that was the hardest concept to grasp of like reality,
Yeah.
you know? Um, but it's interesting that you like how your perspective, and obviously like it's your mom, but um how your perspective is like leaning more towards sad, and mine is more or less like, yeah, but it's going to make us stronger, and through that she would be so proud of us, like
Hmm.
indifferent, you know?
Yeah. 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 No, I agree with that. It's just it's just one.
It's so funny because too, sorry to cut you off, but like I feel like she always thought of us as like her kids, but like when we, when we would do stuff that like adults are, you're an adult, you have free will, you could do certain things, like those little things, like she would be proud of us for.
Mhm.
So like you're saying is like if things were different and she was just unavailable and we still booked this whole trip on our own and took the boys and did all these activities on our own, she would be so proud that we did all that stuff on our own without somebody else planning the trip.
Mhm. Yeah.
So I don't know. Do you want to get into how we went to see a medium?
We can. We can talk about that. Yeah.
Okay.
What do you?
Well, so I should preface it by saying that before we had gone and before you even brought it up, I had seen a medium when I was younger, to try and, talk to my great grandma who had passed. And although like my mom and I think my aunt had pretty good messages come through, like by the time it was my turn, the medium didn't really like have a reading on me. It was just kind of strange almost.
Mhm.
And I don't know if I ever told you that before you brought it up.
Mhm.
Did I tell you that?
Yeah, I think so.
Oh. Um, but either way, like I wasn't gonna bring it up to you because I didn't know how you would feel about it. I didn't know if you would want to do it. I also didn't want to like offend you or make you upset
Right.
by bringing it up. So I never brought it up, and you were actually
Yeah, I think obviously very early on I was more resistant to it just because I think it's like the fear of the unknown.
mhm
Like I don't know what I'm walking into. And also, truthfully, I have a lot of skepticism towards stuff like that.
mhm
I've never done anything like that, so I don't really have like a reason to say why I would be skeptical. I just think that it's one of those things where it could be
right.
it's like a palm reading, like tarot cards, and
Well,
it's
not
just
only
like
that, but in this day and age, like everything's on the internet, so who
yeah,
knows?
yeah. So that's why I kind of wanted to go into it, which we did. Very um
Let's just see what happens.
yeah, like not I'm not
No,
offering up
like
any
low
information.
expectations.
Yeah. And then obviously have fully covered and because I have tattoos and all of that with
Right.
definite
Meaningful.
meanings.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. And so I think that I got to a point in life where, or in my life, where I was just like starting to be more curious about that side and just
Mhm.
being like, I just want to see. And already going into it, like I knew it was going to be a one and done. Like I have no intention of truthfully going back unless there's a specific reason. So like if somebody else in my life wants to go and try that and wants me to be there, or if it's like the same type of thing, like somebody that knows her wants to go and wants me to be like, that would really be the only reason that I would ever go back to one. And it's nothing against psychic mediums or anything like that. I feel like if I go there, I'm either gonna I'm gonna get confirmation that it's not legit,
Mhm.
and then there's no reason to go back because it's like that already just proved my point. Or B, I'm gonna get what I feel like I need out of it
Mhm.
to justify not having to go back.
Right.
And I feel like I did um get what I wanted out of it. And it was a very crazy experience. I feel like the first I want to say first 15 to 20 minutes was probably the most surreal
Mhm.
because I feel like that's when like the most of like the I don't know, answers or like
Yeah, I don't
thoughts came
yeah.
out in
Mhm.
the first like 15 to 20 minutes.
Connections.
Yeah, connections, I guess would be a better word.
Mhm.
Came out in the first like 15 to 20 minutes and it was like immediately to an emotional roller coaster for sure.
Yeah.
For me,
And that's also not to say that like there wasn't some things that she would say and you and I would like look at each other like I have no idea.
well that's the other thing too and I've told people before is like if you ever decide to go, I almost feel like I wish I wasn't so resistant. Not resistant, but like I wish I wasn't so closed off
Mhm.
cuz I was like again, I've told you this, like my thought process was like you're the psychic medium. You're supposed to be able to read everything. Like you tell me what you're picking up,
Right,
right?
right.
So anything that she would ask, like even if there was the slightest connection that I could make, I was just like, I'm not giving any information. That's your job
Right.
to figure
Or
that
at
out,
least just trying to answer in a yes or no and not give
right?
additional details.
But thinking back now, like I'm putting myself in her shoes or her situation. Like if I'm truly making a connection with somebody that, like, if I didn't know you,
Mhm.
and I obviously don't know any of your family members, right? But I'm making a connection with somebody in your past
Mhm.
that's no longer here. Again, I don't know that person. So the
Right.
connections that I'm getting from this person, maybe that they're telling me to tell you
Mhm.
is going to make sense, but to me it's not going to make sense.
Right.
So it's like if I'm saying what's with the white closets,
Mhm.
you know? And like if you could make a connection, like you're obviously not going to
Right.
give me that information because that's technically my job, but it's like I don't know what that means
Right.
to you.
Right.
And I'm being told or shown or what I don't know how it comes through, but this is what I'm being shown
Mhm.
or told to tell you. So it's like it doesn't make sense to me. So I feel like maybe if I gave a little bit more, it would have kind of went in a different direction because it was an hour and a half
Yeah.
conversation. And I feel like after the first like 20 minutes, it was kind of very like there was like little things here and there,
Mhm.
but it wasn't like significant enough. I don't know if I should even touch on the one that was just mind-blowing to me.
Which one?
The 6 7.
You're lame.
You don't know? I mean, I guess I could edit it out.
Yeah.
I don't know like how much I feel comfortable giving away, but I feel like in order to tell this part of the story, like I have to give this context to it. But and I'll try and do my best to make it through without getting emotional, but she
Oh, I remember.
what? No. I will say this.
Yeah, it's up to you. I mean, it's your story to tell.
I'll say this. I'll just leave it at this. There was one thing, which there's only a handful of close people that know this because I've told them in person. There was one thing that she had said to me that you and I were the only two people that would have known.
Mm-hmm.
What she said. And I can't even
right.
exaggerate this.
What the medium said.
What the medium said.
Yes.
What the medium said to me, you and I were the only two people that ever knew that. And
it was something so like not insignificant, but
no, it wasn't.
No, but I'm saying like it wouldn't have been posted anywhere. It wouldn't have been anywhere to reference.
No.
It was basically medical information.
In a sense, yeah, but it wasn't really. I don't know if it was even written. Like, I don't even know if they would write that anywhere.
I don't know either because I got that information from a phone call.
Mm-hmm.
And I think even that phone call was from a Zoom call after some kind of test or something.
Yeah, and let me say this too. This is not on that topic of what the medium said. I'll sum it up with that though. She literally said something that there was literally no possible way that anybody could know that.
Yeah.
So it was one of those moments where, again, it's like, that's what I was expecting to get.
Yeah.
And that's exactly what I got. And that was within the first like 10 minutes.
Yeah. Which I will say too, the other part, and obviously now, like whoever's watching this can kind of pick up, is like, we didn't talk about anything that was going on with your mom. The only people who knew about it were the people
close family.
Yes, who had to know about it. People who, like my parents, were watching the boys more than normal.
Mm-hmm.
And honestly, I think that was it. Outside of her, her family.
The other thing too is like as soon as, and I'll give context as to why with this, but as soon as she said what she said, it literally like it just hit me. Like I couldn't hold back. Like I just broke down. It was so.
But do you feel like it was almost like a release, like that connection?
No, not that one. And this is interesting too. I'm kind of like ping ponging. I'm getting off topic, but like she had said at one point, which this, but obviously since we don't have to go all in depth to this, but since us starting to go to church in the last year and a half and being more on that side of like spirituality and like religiousness and stuff, I still every single day, every single morning that I wake up, I have a conversation with her.
Mm-hmm.
And I try and there has been times, which maybe we can dive into on the next podcast, where I can share like a little bit of that.
Mm-hmm.
There's been a handful, maybe less instances that have occurred where I'm again, like never up until like the last year and a half, I've never been into that side of things, like spirituality, and like believed in stuff like that, like the medium, like believed that it was a legit thing.
Right.
But there has been, about a handful of instances that have happened in that moment of conversation that I cannot explain. That it's like I've received information, and I know that this is going to sound crazy to most people who don't either understand or like have never heard this, but I've received information from that like aspect or side that I can't explain. And that's happened at least 3 or 4 times in the last year and a half. It doesn't happen all the time, which is another reason why I believe that it's real. Because if somebody were coming to me and being like, every single time that they pray or try to have a spiritual interaction, like something happens, I'd be like, okay, really? Every time? But because it's only happened a handful of times in the last year and a half, and I can't explain it, but going back to what the medium said, it was like one of those things that it just hit me immediately in that moment where it wasn't, oh, so that's where I was going with it. See, I got lost in my train of thought, ADD. A lot of times when I'm in conversation with her, I don't give pause to like
Well, right.
either think or like reflect. I kind of just say, it's almost like I'm just talking to you, but I know you can't talk back to me.
Yes.
Know that you can't talk back to me.
Right.
So I continue just saying what I need to say and getting whatever is on my mind, getting it out and just saying what I need to say. And the medium had said at one point, she says you talk too much, which I thought that was really interesting. That was more on the comfort side of things because I feel like that was like clarification that I got kind of what I needed from that. But I think the first thing wasn't necessarily like it gave me clarity. It was more like very sad. Like it made me very, very sad because this is the context to that, knowing that information. So I will never forget that day that I found out what the medium told us that she knew. I can never forget that day. That image, literally everything. And again, anybody who's been in any sort of traumatic experience, like, like there's certain smells or touches or like sounds that bring you back to that moment. You will never forget it. It's just going to be burned in your brain forever. And that was easily one of the worst days of my life. Like easily one of the worst days of my life. And when I first heard that in real time, not from the medium, but when I first heard that in real time, it literally felt like everything that I knew completely flipped upside down. And I don't know how to explain it other than that. Like I felt like my whole world just got flipped upside down. And it was the hardest, definitely one of the hardest days of my life ever.
Well, and not to like minimize your feelings or anything like that, but for the most part, we didn't tell you all the details. And that was mine and your mom's decision. She didn't want you to know.
Still to this day?
Oh no, you know everything now.
Oh.
But I mean, you know that I was in a lot of the Zoom calls with doctors and
I couldn't.
Exactly. And she didn't want you to be there either. So it was mutually exclusive. Like you guys were both comfortable with how everything was in terms of me being there for her. I would go to doctor's appointments with her and all that stuff. So like it was mutually exclusive of like you're saying is you couldn't do that. That would be too much for you. It would be too much for your system.
Yeah.
And in the same sense is she didn't want you worrying about her.
I know.
So she was trying to protect you as best she could. And, I don't know. I don't know if it was me, if I would do anything different, but I wanted to respect both of you. And obviously I'd do anything for her. I mean, we've already talked about how she was everything.
Yeah.
So of course I'd be there even if she didn't want me to be. Of course I'd go and sit and watch Naked and Afraid for 3 hours straight.
Yeah.
Even if she'd tell me to go home and sit with the boys, but I'd do it again in a heartbeat too. Like,
yeah, it was like one of those things where, which I've had conversations with people about this too, is it's such a weird thing because like me personally, like I don't want to be there because I don't want to I don't want to see that. I don't want to experience that with this person that like I've
Is so
obviously
strong.
known, yeah, my whole life. Like I've
Yeah.
known, obviously
Well, that was
it's raised me, but
one of the hardest things to hear people say after the fact and after we told them everything too. And it was like, but she was so healthy. And I was like, yeah, I know.
I know. Yeah, and so it's like one of those things that I didn't want to be there because I didn't want to see that, but like I obviously, God forbid, if what ended up happened is like I don't want to miss all these moments in this time that I do have,
Right, right.
So yeah, it was hard. Like I didn't want to be there, and like obviously with my anxiety, like it just compounded everything being there and making it worse. So it's like I felt more comfortable with you going, which I think you would agree that like she probably preferred you to be there over me anyway.
Mm-hmm.
And not like that, like she wanted you to be there over me, but it's like you said, it's like this mutual agreement that like she didn't want me to be there and see her like that.
Mm-hmm.
The same way that I didn't want to be there and see her like that. So
Mm-hmm.
it
No, and I mean, it wasn't like that the whole time. Obviously, when things became more serious, um, not that they ever weren't, but like things started to change. And then I encouraged you to be more involved and go spend more time with her
yeah.
because there was a shift.
Yeah, and that was definitely the hardest for sure too.
Yeah. Because I mean, obviously, aside from everything that she was dealing with, it was trying to stay positive for her
Mhm.
and not let her see any kind of doubt in your demeanor or anything
Yeah.
because she obviously like she had anxiety too, and like you just didn't want her to pick up on any kind of doubt and then start spiraling.
Yeah.
And that was probably one of the hardest things, to not only stay positive and optimistic when sometimes, I mean, I think I'm like optimistic to a fault, but obviously there's sometimes where I doubt myself and like, what if things don't change, and what if? So like those kinds of things, like never wanting her to see any kind of doubt on my side or panic or worry, or just trying to like keep her in a positive headspace.
Yeah. That was obviously the most important.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, I mean, now we kind of, but I mean, I get what you're saying with the medium too, because they're going back to like what you kind of touched on is yes, we've both gotten stronger in our faith and our religion. So there's like obviously that like it's kind of taboo to go see a medium.
Right, right, right. But yeah, but you know what? I think that just for my own personal reasons, like I feel like I needed, because the other thing, which I don't want to touch on too much, I will just say this. I feel like certain things happen so quickly
Mm-hmm.
that I didn't necessarily get certain questions that I had answered. And so I kind of
Right.
wanted to see that side of things. So it wasn't like,
Yes, because like like we were just saying is we never wanted to doubt, never wanted her to see any doubt. We never,
I literally didn't until I did not until the day of.
yeah. So we
Like
never
I
had conversations with her like it's okay to go because like, and I don't know if maybe you feel differently. I was just nervous she would be like, say something like
I don't know. Yeah,
I never
yeah,
wanted her even till the end to no, you know. I
yeah,
don't know. I was just trying, I never wanted to to say it's okay to go. I
Yeah.
didn't want her to think that we were okay with her passing, I guess is the best way to say that. Because obviously we weren't.
Mm.
So like you were saying, it's like there was a lot of conversations that we didn't get to have.
Mm. And I think that helped me. Obviously, like I said, referencing back to going to church, is having that conversation with somebody who I feel is closer to that side and understands that a little bit more. And then it was just kind of like fortunate that the person that I talked to also lost a parent. And so it was kind of like relating what they went through to like what I had to go through. And it definitely helped bring a little bit more clarity. But I think that seeing the medium was like it was like me getting the answers that I felt like I needed. And again, like I already knew it was going to go one of two ways. Like I said, I'm either going to walk in there and I'm not going to get anything, and it's going to be the most generic meeting that I've ever had, where it's just like, oh, they want you to know that they're okay and they're proud of you and you're doing a good job. And just very generic stuff, right? Where I would be like, this is exactly what I believed a medium was, you know? And it just would prove my point. Or like I said, the other alternative, which is actually what happened, is I get that clarity and that confirmation that I felt that I needed in order to truthfully start healing.
Yeah.
Because I feel like it took me a long time, and it still does, obviously.
Yeah, because there's like little things
that you don't think about that come up. And it's
Yeah.
just like, and that's the other thing that I'm learning too, is there's not a definitive end date or like timeline when like you're supposed to be okay. And it's like,
no, because
it could be forever. And it's going to be, I think the time span between you not being okay, it gets bigger, is longer, and you get to enjoy life a little bit more in between that time and not always be so sad or like upset or angry or whatever the emotion is that you have. So that time span, definitely that gap gets larger, but when it hits, it still hits the same, you know?
Well, not only that, but like obviously with two little boys, like we also talk about her all the time. We don't want either one of them to forget her or forget all these memories that she's created with them. And so we talk about her all the time. So like you're saying is like, it doesn't make it easier, but having that ability to like talk about her and remember all those good times. I don't even know what I was going to say, but just like, because it's like, you know what I mean? But like saying that it makes it easier to talk about her in a positive light, it doesn't make it easier. There's not like a good way to describe it either.
Yeah, I mean, and again, which we've touched on before, is like, one, you're only going to understand it when you go through it yourself, but two, even then, you're still going to experience it differently.
Yeah.
You know? So it's like, you can
we've talked about it. Losing a parent, whether you're a kid,
it doesn't even matter. Yeah, it doesn't even matter if it's a parent. If it's somebody that's close to you like that, that's truthfully, because I've lost plenty of people in my life that are family members and non-family members that I'm close to, but like it obviously is not going to hit the same when it's somebody that like you've literally known your entire life and been around almost every single day of your life, and you know, have had such a close relationship with. It's like, it could be a grandparent, it could be a cousin, it could be a best friend, it could be, you know? So I think that, not to diminish anything else, like if you lose like a friend that's, you guys weren't super close, but like you knew each other, I'm not saying that it makes it any less hard or hurts any less, but I think that you understand the intensity of the grief differently when it's somebody that you're that close to, and only when you go through that yourself do you understand, number one. But again, to expand on that, like even further, it's always going to be different. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like everybody, like some people might handle it better,
Mm-hmm.
right? Maybe they not get over it quicker, but maybe they're able to experience life longer, and like things that might make the next person upset, like this person is able to handle that very well and with grace, so it just depends.
Yeah, I think that I just was thinking about, obviously Thanksgiving just passed, and like you're saying, is like each day we're, or at least I'm able to handle, relatively well, and there's not as many triggers or whatever. But both last year and this year, for whatever reason, Thanksgiving has been super hard. And
Christmas.
yeah, but I don't remember it as much, and maybe just because they kind of blend together. But both last year and this year have been like major triggers for me. Um, because we would have Thanksgiving and Christmas at her house. And
Not always Thanksgiving, mostly Christmas, but
right. But she would plan the dinner and all of that. And so then it's like now we're hosting, and I don't have that person to call and ask, when do I take this stupid turkey out of the freezer?
yeah.
And how long what do I need? What do I stuff it with? And the other thing is that I'm trying to like live up to all of these traditions that she's, made for us. I want it to be as close to, things that the traditions that she's been around for
Mm-hmm.
as possible. So I buy the same brand of stuffing, and I cook the turkey in the same way, and all these things. But then there's also this like, but if I mess it up, like I'm gonna ruin everything.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's these little things where you're doing fine up until you're getting ready to freaking plan Thanksgiving dinner.
Mm-hmm.
And like you're saying, is like, then it's a trigger, and, you know.
Yeah. Yeah. And I think that that's just something that you have to kind of expect.
Yeah, I think the one thing that helped at least this year is I was texting your aunt and actually kind of, told her that I was like kind of triggered, and like that your mom would be the person I would go to, and she told me that your mom would call her multiple times a day on Thanksgiving
Mm.
asking those same questions.
Mm-hmm.
So it almost like made me feel a little bit better of like, oh, she didn't have all the answers. She also called your aunt,
Mm-hmm.
but I didn't know that. I thought she just knew everything.
Mm-hmm.
So it made me feel a little bit better that like you don't have to know everything because she didn't.
Mm-hmm.
And like I told you as well, is I'm so thankful for your aunt and your cousins, because it's not the same, but it's like an essence of her,
Mm-hmm.
you know.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Yeah, I get that. Mm.
So
What?
anything else?
Well, no, I don't know. I think that's good for tonight, but I will say this. I just want to kind of bring it back full circle to the whole New York conversation, and, you know, just basically where I'm at, like mentally, is like I want people to understand that you need to just go. This is going to sound so cliche, but like you need to just go and like just live your life
Yeah.
and like do all of the things that you want to do,
Mm-hmm.
and not be focused or fearful of the what ifs.
Mm-hmm.
Like you figure it out, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And like again, I know like monetary side of things, like I know that you need money in order to do things like taking a trip. Like obviously, yeah, you can't just like pull all the money out of your account and blow all the money that you got just to go take a trip. Like don't be financially stupid. But at the same time is like I just wish people, I mean, I'm 35 and I feel like I'm late to the game and understanding that. And so like I know people that are much older than me that don't. That's me banging this.
Mm.
Anyway, I know people that are older than me that also don't understand that concept. It's like they work, 80% of their life to live the last 10 years of it, 15 years of it, maybe.
Mhm.
Then they do what they want to do. And it's just like, and that could go for anything. It doesn't have to necessarily be like going on vacations and taking trips and like exploring things, but like just because again, you never know
Well,
what is going to
right.
happen, not only with the people around you in your life
Mhm.
that could definitely alter the way that, because this is ironic that I just made a post about this. This isn't going to drop today, but I just made a post about this on Instagram. Is about me last year, this time, or prior to that, a few months before that, is like my life got so altered in a way that like I didn't want to even do anything that
Right, because you start questioning like
I didn't want to
the
be.
meaning of life, basically.
Well, not only
Like,
that, but like I don't know how in
what's
depth
the
I even told you,
purpose?
but like I didn't want to be a personal trainer anymore. I didn't want to.
No,
I
when
didn't want
you
to
told
see.
me last night, that was the first time I had heard it.
I didn't want to see people. I didn't want to go out anywhere. I didn't want to go on vacation anymore.
Mhm.
I literally, like, I know that this is going to sound super dramatic, but this is exactly how I felt in that moment. And obviously not now. I think I'm in a better place mentally and physically, but, um, like I literally just felt like burn it all. Like I didn't care.
Yeah.
I didn't want to do anything anymore. Like I just didn't understand.
Nothing mattered.
Yeah, I didn't understand what the purpose was. Like
Yeah.
what's the point now?
Mhm.
What's the point? Like if okay, so I do all of these things, then what?
Yes.
There's no purpose to it. Like the
Yeah.
person that I needed in my life to be there for all of these things and achievements and like, going on vacations with is not here anymore. So what's the point? Why do
Mhm.
I need to do any of that anymore? I have
Well,
nobody to prove it to.
and it's just that concept that like she's just gone. So then it, like you're saying, is like you start questioning like what's the purpose? Like
Yeah.
why?
Yeah. And then even then to take it a step further, and again, not to get like too dark or deep, but you start contemplating like your own life and stuff. And I'm like, if that's my fate at some point, what's the point of me pursuing this? Like, who cares then?
Mhm.
Because I'm not, if that happens and my time comes,
Then
all
what?
those achievements and all that, that doesn't mean anything. I can't take
Mhm.
it with me.
Yeah.
So what's the point? Who cares? I
Mhm.
don't care anymore. And that's literally what my attitude was for months, probably like a good 6 months, definitely in the first 2 to 3. For a good 2 to 3 months, I was just like, I don't care. Like, I
Mhm.
don't even want to train. I don't care. Nobody can pay me. I don't need to see anybody. I don't want to talk to anybody. I have
Mhm.
no desire to go anywhere. I don't even want to get up and get dressed half the
Yeah.
time. Like I just wanted to stay in bed.
Yeah.
Like I didn't care about anything. And so anyway, to bring that back full circle and end it more on a lighter note, when things like that happen, again, whether it's people that are close to you in your life or God forbid you specifically, it's like that that's the inevitable for everybody. And
Mhm.
so it just is almost kind of like that Forrest Frank reel you sent me the other day. Like how vast the world is.
Yeah.
It's like it's so big and people spend so much time worrying about all these little things that don't matter
Yeah.
ultimately at the end of the day. And again, like I know it sounds ridiculous to say like don't worry about money, like just figure it out and figure out how you're going to go on a vacation, but like again, that's one of those things that if you get to that inevitable point, like you
Mhm.
can't take your money with you anyway. So what's the point of that?
Not only that, but I feel like a lot of people are so worried about like taking time away from their job and then like, well, what
I
if
was and I got fired. We
at the
told that
same
story.
yeah, same with me.
Yeah.
And that's the thing is like a lot of businesses I have yet to hear of, well, no, I shouldn't say that. A lot of businesses will just replace you.
Hmm.
Like something comes
Yeah.
up, they'll just replace you.
Yeah.
And it doesn't matter. You put so much effort into a company and trying to keep your job.
Hmm.
It in the reverse too is okay, if they fire you, you get another job.
Yeah. Or do something else. Cause
Yeah.
honestly, and I'm not speaking on you, but like most of the times the people that I've talked to in that situation, same thing, like they don't even, oh, I was going to swear. I mean, I could, I don't give a shit. they don't even like their job.
Mm-hmm.
They hate their job. They're miserable at their job.
Mm-hmm.
But then they still go and clock in every single day. And they're
Yeah.
like so worried about the not the inevitable, but the worst case scenario happening.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like, so what?
Mm-hmm.
Who gives a shit?
Well, and
You
there
don't even
is-
like that job. So why are you why are you freaking out about, well, if I do this, then I'm not going to get paid, or they're going to fire me if I am
yeah.
a terrible employee. I'm like, you don't even care about your job.
But the
You
crazy
complain about it all the
the
time.
crazy part is that there are companies out there who value a work-life balance because like
Yeah, for sure.
it's
That's
crazy
the way.
because your productivity is significantly higher
Yeah.
when you have a good work-life balance. So there's been a couple companies now that I've worked for, including the one I work for now,
Mhm.
that has no problem approving time off and
Right.
you want to go for a week? Okay, have
Yeah.
fun. No questions asked because the other thing is like it's your PTO, like there should be no questions asked.
Mhm.
But there is definitely a value in that work-life balance because like you're saying is you don't live your life to work a job. You know, like yeah, you work to afford certain things, but part of that should be living your life
Mhm.
to whatever degree you want. You want to travel, you want to buy nice things, you want to, whatever it may be, your job should just be helping you achieve those things.
Right.
And, if one company doesn't fit, there's plenty of other companies, there's other jobs, there's
Well, I've even said this before, is like we live in an age where like it's so easy to just do
Mhm,
literally anything that you want to do these days. And like you
mhm,
can, and I use this example a lot, but you can, anything you can think of, you can definitely get paid doing.
mhm.
And I guarantee you there's already a handful of people at least that are already doing what you think is impossible to make money at. And on the flip side, which is even better for said person, if nobody's doing it yet,
Mhm.
you could be the first person to do that, to start doing that and make a living off of it.
Right.
And then it's like you're going to make even more money because you're the only person that's thought of that.
Mhm.
Right? So it's
Mhm.
like, I don't know. Anyway, just to bring it back, my point is do what you want to do. Forget what everybody else has to say.
Mhm.
Like just go and
Yeah.
enjoy your life, cuz again, the inevitable is going to happen for all of us, and nobody knows when that's going to be. So
Mhm. Yep.
that's it. That's all I got.
I agree.
That's it. Thanks for coming to my podcast. I'm done. I'm tired. I'm going to bed.
That was pretty good.
Yeah.
Okay. We'll
All
catch
right.
you next time.
Peace.